it's all one presentation. It's just, but you want the spotlight up now or just this?
Okay, we're ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. It is so nice to see a full house coming back. We always love to see all of you here, especially for our school presentations and all of our business. So I'd like to ask our flag salute people, fourth graders at Green Hills, Dabin Tak and Mia Hom to come up.
Place your right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you. This meeting is being televised and recorded for the transcription and the minutes. At this time, speakers wishing to address the board this evening should turn in the completed speaker card to the board secretary. I did want to make mention that Trustee Beltrami will not be joining us this evening. I would like to amend our agenda. First, I'm going to ask for reports from closed session. Nothing to report. So I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda to move 9.1, school spotlight, to number 7, trustee comments to number 8, and superintendent update to number 9. Do I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second? Great. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Again, public comments, speakers wishing to address the board on items on the agenda may complete speakers cards and submit them to the board secretary. Speakers addressing specific items on the agenda will have the opportunity to address the board at the time of the agenda item in the meeting. If you're addressing the board on a non-agenda item, please be aware that the provisions of the Brown Act prohibit the board from acting or discussing such matters at this meeting. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, per topic, and 20 minutes per agenda item. Okay, the best part of the evening, we're going to start with our school spotlight, Green Hills Elementary School, Kerry Dees, principal.
Will it work? Okay. All right.
Good evening, Millbrae community members, school board trustees, Superintendent Hickey and our district cabinet, and the amazing staff, student, and family of Green Hills Elementary School. I'm honored to be here tonight as Green Hills principal to share with all of you this evening our school spotlight. As we can all agree, we have an excellent school district. By all of us working closely together, I'm confident that we can continue to build on the great work already done to help our students thrive academically while supporting their socio-emotional growth and nurturing their unique talents. Our students truly inspire me with their energy, creativity, and promise for the future. I'd like to share with you first, click right? Our collectively agreed upon mission statement. At Green Hills, students come first. We foster a safe and inclusive community that empowers students to be compassionate humans, problem solvers, and lifelong learners. All during the school year, through a cycle of inquiry along with staff, our school site council, monitor and continuously evaluate our progress to ensure that our actions, tiered interventions, expanded learning opportunities, and best practices are in place that address our school's goals. These slides, like everything we do at Green Hills, was a team effort. I thank our teachers and staff for their thoughtfulness in preparing each slide. We're going to kick it off with TK. I don't know. Go. Thank you. So please enjoy this. You will see how we embed our school motto throughout our daily practice. You maybe heard it at the end of the pledge. We say it every day. Be kind and work hard. Okay, so here we have our TK, which you just saw. Throughout the year, they celebrate and educate our learners in a history of our cultural diversity. Here we have both preschool and K-3 SII classes that made snow as scientists. The preschoolers made snow with their 5th grade buddies, which was then followed by a snow party in this preschool play yard, and then a school-wide snowstorm as the students earned a dance party as part of the Ram Reward PBIS celebration. Special shout out to our PTA for purchasing the snow machine. Kindergarten, engaging math activities. Check out these on January 30th, our 100th day of school. You can see these kindergartners enjoying a variety of hands-on activities, and this is just a snapshot. There was stuff happening all around the school on this fun day. In 1st grade, we're highlighting math. Through the math workshop model, students are grouped with like learners, some needing more practice and some ready to do more. All learners are given the opportunity to collaboratively apply the foundational skills they are learning in the math standards with the Eureka 1st grade curriculum. And 2nd grade. Literacy and community engagement were abundant at our recent annual Poetry Cafe, which builds vocabulary, encourages creativity, and builds literacy. You can see Mrs. Navarro and Mrs. Finicchiaro right there. We also, part of our tiered intervention, have our reading intervention teacher, Mr. Rote here. He works with 4th through 5th graders in a pull-out model. The program provides focused small group instruction to raise children's reading abilities to grade level. Most groups meet up to 5 times a week, and most recently, 7 of our first graders reached grade level and graduated out of the reading intervention class. Every year, our third graders get their steam on. They plan, prepare, and present their projects to both the parents as well as our student body. They need to be prepared to answer critical questions about their invention to both adults and their peers. Come by February 23rd and you'll see. Fifth graders are really busy at Green Hills. Not only are they athletes and artists, musicians, scholars, environmentalists, but they also lead the philanthropic efforts at our school. Here you see Blankets of Hope. Every winter, fifth graders lead the charge to write letters with messages of love and inspiration to attach to these blankets to be given out to our local shelters. This is done through our School Families program. Now, without further ado, as our personal grand finale, I'd like to present some of our fourth graders. Should they come here or there? They'll be loud and proud, right? Okay. And their amazing teacher, Miss Sawchuk.
I just want to quickly just say thank you for having us. Our students have worked hard all year and will continue to do so for the entire year. They memorize these poems and by Friday. So they get them, we go over them the Friday before, and then they have the opportunity and they memorize them. Now, we're doing 3 poems. This collection of poems was from a former colleague who put them together, and we really love to be able to celebrate that. We have 2 memorized and 1 we just did, so we have a paper just in case. Enjoy.
Well done, fourth graders. Again, always proud and impressed. And lastly, to conclude our spotlight, I just wanted to share with you, Friday was the end of our kindness week. So we orchestrated somehow about 360, 370 folks, adults and children, to get a photo of our entire school to reflect our collective commitment to being kind by wearing green or white to pose for this photo. Pretty cool. Parent April did this for us, so we were really proud of that, and it was fun. So with that, it concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Again, this is not my presentation. I have to applaud all of the teachers that took part of importing pictures and giving little snapshots of what has gone on throughout the year. Any questions, comments?
Thank you, Kerry. That was wonderful. I'm going to look to my colleagues for trustee comments. Can I ask for any, trustee Musa?
I'll start. I don't have questions, but for the dates, February 3rd, the
23rd.
The 23rd, the event, just send us an email, let us know so we can, pop by and
sure
check
will.
it out, okay?
Yes. In the morning.
Anyway,
Get your coffee and bring it on.
yes. Anyway, thank you for a great presentation. I love your energy, and I feel like this year's presentations from all of our schools, we have this positive, fun energy. And the fun part about it is having all these children here, because what we look forward to these presentations is to see kids in live, in person, and to see you perform. So thank you so much. Everything that we do is for you guys, and hopefully that we give you the best opportunity to learn and do more and learn more about yourselves and what you like and don't like to do in the future. Anyway, and also we can't do this without our amazing parents and our volunteers. And of course, as usual, our amazing staff, principals and teachers, because it's a team effort. So I just want to say, keep up the good work. And, we're just very lucky in Millbrae to have such a amazing team that work well together for the benefit of our kids in Millbrae. So thank you.
Trustee Chin?
Sure. I wanted to thank you for the great presentation, as well as all of the teachers and staff and parents who put together all of this work, but especially the kids who did a fantastic job. Really kudos, wonderful poems. I really, this is the highlight of what we do. So much of what we do here every day is all for you, and this is the real icing on the cake. And I just wanted to say that I love your mottos. And, when I think about the vision, when I saw your presentation, I was like, what is our vision statement for the district, like in actual words? And I'm thinking, you've really touched upon them all. It's, to nurture emotional intelligence, to promote a passion for learning, to foster an innovative learning environment, and to connect the self and learning to the world. And, you've touched upon all of them. I love what you guys did with the blankets of hope. I really love the invention, and, all the other work that you do. But these are really special things and creative ways in which we can do all of those things. So thank you. Thank you.
Great. Trustee Barbaro?
Kerry, thank you so much for the great presentation. And kids, I love the poems. That was fantastic. I love them. Kids come first. Students come first. I love that. You started it off that way. That's why we're here tonight, for our kids. So I want to thank the parents who are here tonight with our kids. And Kerry, you're a true leader. You really are, and you have so much energy. I love it. I love it. So
Well, I don't do it alone, by any means.
you have a great team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. My turn. Just ditto on all the other trustee comments, but I have to say, knowing the Green Hill staff all these years, they are an amazing group of teachers who collaborate daily, minute by minute. They are an amazing group, and with you as their leader, Kerry, it's a win-win combination. So I just want to really put a shout out to these. I tried to get one of your teachers at a school where I was many years ago, and she declined and went to work at Green Hills. Can you imagine that? Yeah. And has been there ever since. But anyway, amazing school as always. I also want to comment on those new enrollees who were taking part in the fourth grade presentation. You know, these are things that we celebrate in our district. We're a family. You know, it's not just what you see here and what you see there. It's what you see all over. And that, to me, is what makes school fun. Speaking of fun, Green Hills has a lot of fun. And I think we need to really put the fun back into our, we constantly hear about test scores and raising this and raising that. And we need to really think about the whole child here. And to me, you have embraced that by what you do at Green Hills to have fun. So I just wanted to have, oh, sure. Can I finish, Superintendent Hickey? I just wanted to ask Kerry if she'd like to put in a plug for your readathon, because I just read about that.
Tell me more.
Or literacy, not the readathon, the literacy.
Oh, Literacy Week. Oh my
Literacy
goodness,
Week,
something happened.
sorry.
So
My
last
bad.
week of March, I hope that all of you got an invitation. We invited everyone to be a guest reader one day, but every day throughout the week, we celebrate somehow. We have someone from the library coming. We decorate our classroom doors. We have a full week that's just robust. Our other fun thing is our vocabulary parade. So it's the next best thing to Halloween at Green Hills. Everybody dresses up as some vocabulary word. You could be excited, you could be exhausted, you could be anything you want on Vocabulary Day.
Great, thank you. And Superintendent Hickey.
All right, well, thank you very much, Green Hills and Principal Dees. I agree that Green Hills community has a lot of fun. Not only did they celebrate the 100th day of school, but they kept that party going. And I was there on the 101st day of school, and I saw a lot of teachers wearing their 101 days of school with their Dalmatian ears. So that was great to see. Fourth graders, you did a fantastic job. I love the motto of be kind and work hard. Those are two mottos that I like to live my life by. And just listening to your poems, they were just wonderful representations of both work hard and be kind. And I can't wait to see a future RAM.
Get two of them. One's coming to TK
Couple.
next year.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we move on with the rest of our meeting, we're going to take a really, really short break and give our students some cookies and send them on their way because it's a school night. So it's a short break. Thanks. MCTV folks get cookies? Okay, good. Okay. All right, we're going to resume after that short break and wonderful presentation. I did not call up our public comments for our community. And so I'd like to ask Millbrae Education Foundation if they have a report this evening.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you, I know everyone in here, but I'll go ahead and say it for TV. I'm Layla Morris. I am this year's president of the Millbrae Education Foundation. And I'm really excited. I don't think that I've updated you this year yet. Maybe I have. Holiday Boutique was a great success. We raised $5,000, but we have just concluded our 4th annual MEF Readathon. And this year we set a goal of $50,000, which we had never done before. And none of us thought that we could do it. Unfortunately, we did not get to 50,000. However, we did get to $49,700 and some dollars. So,
Can I say?
I don't want you to violate any Brown Act things. However, I'm informed and believe that there is another donation coming in that will put us over the top, but I don't want anybody to violate any rules by saying anything. However, we are going to meet that $50,000 goal, which again has never been done before, and she's already gone, but Anshu Molaji, who is one of our VPs, and Michelle Chang, who is another one of our vice presidents, they have been instrumental in making sure that the word gets out, that we harass everyone at all times of the day and night, class-specific, school-specific, board members and council members and members of the public, because this is really a giving event that is near and dear to our hearts because it centers everything on reading. So yes, it is a fundraiser. Everything we do is a fundraiser because that's our whole purview. However, Readathon is something that engages our students and engages the wider and broader community, our grandparents and our aunts and our uncles and our friends. And the fact that the Millbrae community and our extended families have been able to do that, and the most frequent donation number that I saw was $20. $20 at a time, because when you get a community together, $20 by $20 by $20, then you can end up raising $50,000 or $200,000 or $250,000, whatever the next one is, right? So we're very proud of that. We're also very proud of the fact that I think every school has been able to meet their reading number of minutes challenge, which means that our principals, Taylor, I don't know what we're gonna do with you, something. Don't worry, we have plans. But all of our principals agreed to be slimed, pied, dunked. I think we're taping somebody to a wall this year. I don't know. But it's a great way for the kids to celebrate and see that they were a part of their own education. So we love Readathon, and thank you everybody for partnering with us for that. We are coming up now into gala season. So again, March 23rd at the Hilton. We will start ticket sales tomorrow. So one thing that we are doing this year is we're doing early bird pricing. So if you buy your ticket tomorrow, it's $185. Instead of the week before, it's $250. So please buy early and often and come join us at our 7th annual gala. It is a casino theme because we are betting on a brighter future for all Millbrae kids. So come join us. It's going to be a great time. And those of you who have not yet given to Readathon, even though it's officially over, it is still open and live for donations. So, yeah, I think that's it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Oh, amazing. I mean, just amazing. And I'm glad donations are still open because I know there are a few that are coming in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and your enthusiasm, Layla, and your staff, and just watching on social media.
I have to give a shout out to Patty Miyakawa. She is actually a Meadows parent, and she has a bookstagram. Sorry to interrupt you, President Ferrario. She has a bookstagram called Mama Daughter Book Club, and she has been instrumental and an incredible partner because she is really the one that has been a driver of the social media campaign. This is her second year doing the takeovers, and she has just been incredible. And you say staff, but the beautiful thing about MEF is that it is 100% volunteer run.
Yeah.
And it's parents and community members who believe in those kids and want to bring as many resources as possible to our kids. So thank you.
Just wonderful. Okay, trustees, who can Trustee Barbaro, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the gala.
Good.
I really am. I can't wait to be there.
Sorry.
There's no, yeah.
This is, yeah, it's okay.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Public. Okay, so I put you on the spot, my bad. I already commented, my bad. So I guess we're just going to say thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Layla.
Thank you.
Thank you, Layla.
I know.
What's going on?
It's hard not to comment on something as wonderful, yeah. Okay, how about the Millbrae Education Association? Any comments? No report. And how about Classified Student Association? No. Okay. How about members of the community? Do we have any loose lips? No? Okay. How about trustee communication? Now I'm going to call on Trustee Barbaro.
Thank you, President Ferrario. So I just wanted to make it real quick. Last month in January, we had the Movers and Shakers dinner at Green Hills Country Club. We had MEF, PTA, PTO, principals, secretaries, staff, some parents. The children were there. We had presentations. It was a fantastic Lions event, Millbrae Lions. And I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that attended.
Thank you. Trustee Chin.
Well, I wanted to thank the MEF for sure on their amazing work. You guys have an incredible volunteer group, and that readathon is just becoming more and more successful each and every year. And truly, it is a group effort between all the volunteers, but all the community members who are participating. And that's wonderful to see the amount of engagement. So thank you for all of that. And I think my only other announcement is I wanted to wish everybody a happy Chinese New Year, or actually a happy Lunar New Year, because it is not just for the Chinese community, but that is February 10th, and it'll be a big event, and I think people celebrate all month, but I really wanted to wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year.
Trustee Musa.
Okay. All right. Again, I agree with my colleagues. MEF, volunteers, parents, you guys are amazing. You always, every year you seem to kind of overdo yourself. We're just very lucky to be here in Millbrae. I just have like a couple of announcements. Again, Trustee Chen mentioned the Chinese New Year this Saturday, but I know on the 17th, the city of Millbrae, they're doing a whole celebration at the rec center. On the 17th is from like 10 to 7, and they're gonna, I think it's on Broadway. I think they do it yearly, and they're gonna have a whole day of celebration, food and activities and all this stuff. So if you have a chance to stop by and check it out, they do a really good job. Another announcement I have is, this is at the time of year where San Mateo CSBA is looking for applications for the Kent Awards. So this is, and the deadline is, we have till March 29th to turn it in. And it's about our teachers and our staff, and it's about programs that we try to do. And if it works for two years in a row, that we can apply and get a grant for it. And and it becomes a role model for other school districts to implement. So if we have anything that we're doing, it would be a great time to kind of, have Millbrae School District to kind of apply and be able to get recognition for it at the Kent Awards. The Kent Awards, usually it's around May. So anyway, if there's any interest, check it out, look into it, and then it will be a great opportunity for Millbrae to get involved. That's it.
Okay, and another just announcement on February 29th will be the Lunar New Year celebration. The Rotary Club puts on every year in support of our schools, so that's the 29th. And also the Kent Awards, our district has won these Kent Awards several times in the past. And just to let you know, it's not a monetary award, it's recognition. And so I would love to see several of our schools apply. There's so many wonderful things happening in our district, so it would be nice to have one of our schools being celebrated, and the event is in May. Okay, and happy Lunar New Year, absolutely. Okay, we're going to move right along to superintendent update.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, as you are aware, there was a level 4 storm, according to the news, which I haven't seen level 4 in a while. So lots of rain and wind, and it did cause power outages in some areas. So I really just want to thank the Meadows community. We did have to close school yesterday because they didn't have power, and we know that it was an inconvenience, but appreciate everyone's flexibility, as well as Spring Valley, who welcomed, because they did have power, a few of our Meadows students who weren't able to make other arrangements. So just want to thank everyone for their flexibility. A few slides. Let's see if this is clear. So we start off with MEF Readathon, which Layla just talked about, but I really just kind of want to highlight the kickoff event, which was at the library, and we had wonderful guest readers, our wonderful teachers that were represented from all of our elementary sites who read, and not only did they read, but everyone who came, we had a really strong attendance, got a free book, and they got hot cocoa, and what can be better than a free book and hot cocoa, and having your favorite teachers read to you. So wonderful to hear about, you're right there to meet that goal and go over. And also put the save the date, another plug of Saturday, March 23rd for the annual gala at the Burlingame Hilton, so from 6 to 11. The 100th day of school, all the schools celebrated. I happened to be at Lomita Park that morning, so they were greeting everyone, happy 100th day. And some people don't realize that in elementary schools, that 100th day of school is such an important day. And I think it's important because, we have 180 days of school, and so that 100th day means you're a little more than halfway, but there's so many fun things you can do with the number 100 as well. And I just wanted to highlight a little transitional kindergarten classroom in Lomita Park. Some of them dressed up. Remember, they're like 4, right? Some of them maybe have turned 5 at this point, but they dressed up to look 100 years old, and it was just adorable. Some of them had canes, some gray hair wigs, so that was really cute. I also wanted to highlight the San Mateo Union High School District. They had Superintendent Booker hosted a listening session, and it was held at the Millbrae Recreation Center. And it was for a lot of community members. I think there were principals there. And about a few days before, he sent out a message to all the feeder school elementary districts and said, we would really like students. And I reached out to Taylor, and Principal Zlatnich helped us with that. And we had 2 students who attended from Taylor who are involved in leadership. I mean, we did have a little bit of an advantage because it was held so close within walking distance to Taylor, but we were proud to have the only 2 students that were from any of the middle schools come to that listening session, and I hear it was very successful, and they're excited to do it again. And I know Aaron Zlatlich was there as well. Just wanted to, summer school is, our plans are underway, so I wanted to just give some details about summer school. So this year, it's going to be held June 17th through July 12th. There is no school on June 19th, which is Juneteenth, as well as Independence Day on July 4th. So it ends up being 18 days. It will be half day, so 8:15 to 12:30 p.m. We will have a summer school at Lomita Park and Spring Valley for our elementaries. We do have an extended school year program, and those are students who qualify through the IEP process, and that will be at Green Hills. I'm sorry, that didn't make it on the slide. And Taylor will hold the middle school program. They also will have a specific Taylor Bridge program, which is really focusing on that transition from elementary school to middle school. And that, I think right now, is going to be a 3-week program, and we plan on having it from June 24th to July 12th. And then Happy Hall will also be supporting our students after that half day and open from 12:30 to 6. Okay, and then we got some really exciting news from the state who called because they noticed wonderful math scores for Taylor Middle School. And so I am going to invite Aaron Zlatlich and Mr. Bob Rudinsky up here to just tell us a little bit about a math summit in Sacramento that they were invited to.
Good evening. Good evening, President Ferrario, Superintendent Hickey, fellow trustees, families, no students. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting us share. So we were thrilled to recount our participation at the California Math Summit. As we collectively acknowledge the learning setbacks during the pandemic, it's crucial to highlight our ongoing efforts to bridge the educational gaps. We received the invitation to showcase our achievements at the California Math Summit due to being among the rare 7 districts in the state to have made gains in our math scores. Mr. Rudinsky joined me to emphasize the positive initiatives and ongoing efforts we are undertaking to enhance our student achievement at Taylor.
We were asked to talk about why we were averaging over 20% higher than the state of California in our math scores. And the 8 people that were up there were representing districts. There were only 7 that achieved that. And we all agreed there was no silver bullet. There isn't one thing that we do that made that happen. But there were a number of things that were significant. You'll probably remember, because the board approved about 4 or 5 years ago, that we went to an outstanding math curriculum, illustrative math, which was #1 in the country. And it continues to be #1 in the country. And that was catapulted us. And then we committed to professional learning teams about 3.5 years ago. And that helped us collaborate. It helped us go to essential standards and ignore the non-essential standards. But more importantly, focus on student learning. And it made us collaborate with each other. The 7th grade scores stood out because they committed to PLTs first. But all grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th, have improved their scores by going to essential standards, common assessments that we could turn around right away, find out where there's holes in our learning. But the emphasis on PLTs is on student learning and not student teaching, which is a major change. Because I could make the best presentation on earth. If the kids didn't learn anything, it's no value. So we focus and make sure that they're learning by doing the common assessments right away. We do those every week, turn them around quickly and find out that they're learning or where the gaps are. We also focused on the students that struggle, try to make sure that they all did better in math. And those are the things, the biggest thing on top of all of that was to have fun and make it relevant. Because if you like something and you're having fun, you'll do better in it. Thank you for letting us.
So the highlight that the state really emphasized was the growth in our 7th grade class. So 6th grade to 7th grade, we made gains, but from 7th grade to what we're going to be very excited to compare our growth, we see that the graph shows our students that score the same class, so it's their core cohort, their score in 2021-22 school year, and the state focused specifically on this as we saw the big jump. The overall proficiency rate of our 7th grade students increased from 57.73% to 62.77%, reflecting a growth of 5.04%, which is a really big gain. In comparison to the state's proficiency standards at 33.17%, we see significant growth, especially in our 7th grade class. And as Mr. Radinsky was discussing, we do have excellent curriculum. So we thank the board for adopting that a few years ago. Our professional learning teams, our teachers specifically in 7th grade last year, really focused in on that collaborative practice, making those common formative assessments, and really seeing that the students who weren't being successful, they were able to go in and have intervention, whether that was through reteaching in the classroom, in small group, or if that was during advisory time or after school time. Even during lunchtime, our teachers were taking the kids at any time that the students wanted to learn. We set high expectations, so we do expect our test scores to grow. Although test scores and analyzing data may not be fun and exciting, it really is thrilling to see the growth of our students. So we set the high standard that all students will reach at least 80% accuracy, proficiency in their essential standards. And if you look at the new California math framework, the essential standards and the big ideas are synonyms. So we have the differentiation in the classroom. Our advisory time, building relationships is huge. You work harder for those that you like and appreciate and love, and we're building those relationships with our students. And we also have that homeschool connection. All of that is recognized or reflected in our test scores, and the state recognized it. So we thank you for the opportunity to share our success from our test scores in math.
Okay, thank you very much. It was really exciting that they got invited to Sacramento. So that kind of concludes my comments, except for I did want to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year. It is the year of the dragon, which is very exciting. Since I am a dragon, which I realize I'm just telling you my age. So if you say I'm 60, I'm going to be offended, but I will take it as a compliment if you say 36. So there you go.
Thank you. And thank you, Taylor. I don't know whether any of our trustees would like to make a comment on the Taylor presentation.
I mean, that's amazing news. Thank you. I mean, for the amazing work that you guys done as a staff. The collaborative meetings with each other really makes a big difference. And, you know, I mean, having great curriculum, but really meeting together and really looking at test scores and working as a team really makes a big difference, and it shows. And I guess my only question I would have, and you don't have to maybe, is how we had a discussion with Mills High School. Have they seen a difference? Because in the past, I've noticed that kids at freshman year, when they go to high school, they don't have good scores in math. So I'm just wondering, now that we've changed our model and we're doing much better, has there been a connection and there's a feedback from the high school to say that, wow, we see a difference?
Thank you. Trustee Chin?
Yeah, I just wanted to wish you all a well done. And I also wanted to just kind of ask who the 7th grade team is, just so that we can really give them a lot of recognition and credit, because, you know, a lot of the math scores have increased across all the grades, but truly that is the team that really should be recognized here. So I don't know if you can name them off, but it'd be great to kind of give them that credit for their PLT work. For this cohort, whichever they would.
Trustee Barbara?
I just want to say kudos to Taylor staff, principals, teachers. It's amazing that you guys are moving forward with your math program. You really are. And so it makes us feel comfortable. I know I feel comfortable that you guys are on the right track. So kudos to you. Thank you.
Great. And just one throw out there, you know, if you could just throw some of that information and all that learning to some of your elementary friends about ongoing assessments, because that's kind of where it's at as far as I'm concerned. However, at an elementary level, assessing a first grader or a second grader or a third grader looks a little bit different on a weekly basis, but I love to see your expertise in kind of helping them do that. So thanks, amazing. And please have a celebration for your students. I'm sure you are, right? Great, thank you. Okay, our second presentation this evening is the Mid-Year Local Control Accountability Plan update. Terry Brenner.
Good evening. Good evening, President Ferrario, trustees, Superintendent Hickey, and all of our wonderful audience members. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to present our mid-year update. Okay, I just didn't press hard enough. Gotta attack it a little bit more, I guess. So in preparing this presentation, there's so much information that really needs to be shared. And so we thought long and hard about how we were going to share this so that we wouldn't take up too much time or put a lot of people to sleep. So I kind of planned for a gamut of audience members, from those who might not even know what an LCAP is to those who are very versed in it. So an LCAP is a 3-year plan, and it really tells the district's story. It's the roadmap of where are we going. The LCAP is based on what I call the state 8, the 8 priorities. There's actually 10, but priority 9 and 10 are the responsibility of the county. So the 8 are here on the screen. I know it's a little difficult to see here, but hopefully this is in your packet and you've probably seen this before, but it's here just to remind us of all of the various things that we need to make sure we are addressing in our LCAP. The mid-year update by Ed Code, you don't have to approve it. It's just simply for information to show our update. We will update again at the end of the year when everything is finalized. There's no template, there's really no set way to do it. And again, we kind of looked at what other districts were doing, and most were just doing it through a slideshow such as this. One of the things that I forgot to mention on the last slide, we can use this update to kind of inform us, because we are going into the season of writing a new LCAP for starting next year. As I said, it's a 3-year plan, so we're in year 3 of this plan. So as we prepare with a new one, we'll want to take a look at what were the successes, what didn't work, what might we do differently. So it doesn't need to be part of the plan, but we do use it to advise in writing that new plan. The first thing that you see when you look at a school's LCAP is their overview of the budget. So we updated that for you. This is kind of where we're at now. And this is just a slide to represent those dollar amounts. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this little plant analogy. And you'll see this throughout the presentation. So the plant that would be all the way to the left, it's not much of a plant. It hasn't grown a lot, but it's there. There's a little seedling. That means it's either the outcome of the action or the goal is unknown, or maybe we didn't start it for some reason, or maybe it's been sunset, and I'll kind of walk us through that as we go through the presentation. The one you see in the middle means it's in progress, and you're going to see a lot of our action items underneath the in progress, because we still have, roughly 5-6 months to go yet. And then outcome is known, or goal completed, goal met. You're going to see all the things under each goal that are falling in that as well. So I'm going to just go through. We have 5 goals. We need to make sure that somewhere in our LCAP we're addressing all 8 of the state priorities. And you can do it any way you want. the county said to me, if you want to just write 8 goals, one for each priority, you can do that, but that's a lot of goals. So what most districts do is they kind of wrap them into several into one goal. So we have 5. Our first goal is academic achievement. And as you can see by the chart on the left, you'll see the measurements or the metrics that we use to measure that goal, and there's multiple. And then on the right side, you're going to see the state priorities. So goal number 1 hits 5 different of those priorities. And goal 1 is really about achievement. But when you dig deeper into this goal, you'll see that the meat of it is a professional learning community. And as you know, we embarked on that journey a few years ago. I remember when Principal Zlatnich and I attended that first PLC with a large group of folks from our district, including Mr. Radinsky, and just watching our staff, I think Aaron would agree with me, it was fun to watch the fire ignite and the excitement. And tonight is living proof that some of the folks that were at that conference really took it to heart and applied what they learned there. So that was so rewarding and such a great segue for this presentation because, you know, that is proof of the fact that a PLT does work and can get results. So this is still goal 1, and I'm going to use that plant analogy, and we have 9 actions for this particular goal. And as you can see, under goal 1, we have 1 that's not completed. And it's interim assessments. That is for our state testing. So, excuse me, prior to doing state testing, and most do it in the spring, we do it typically April and May, you can actually do some practices, and they're very, very good, but it's intense. And a lot of the feedback that we have gathered from our staff is, I don't know if we have the bandwidth right now to do that. I think it's a great action, and I think we need to explore it down the road in the future, but it's just one that we have not embarked on yet. Under the partially implemented, you can see quite a few of the actions are there. And then we even have a few that fall under the fully implemented. So that goal is looking fairly good. Okay, I gotta just really press hard on this thing. All right, and so then I'm also required to update you on the budget. So originally this goal, and I lumped all of the actions together rather than pricing each little individual thing out. But as you can see, there's the budgeted and the actual. We haven't, you know, overspent, so that's a good thing. We're actually under right now. But by the end of the school year, we could be realizing a few more costs there. But we'll probably come very close to our budgeted. And then the metrics are below. And we've already talked about some of these metrics at length, like our state testing data. And things of that nature, but it is listed here. I'm not going to go through all of it, but just so that you are aware that these metrics are what determines our success with goal 1. So some of the metrics you'll see here are the state testing. We do what's called a fit report. That usually happens kind of summerish, beginning of the school year, where all of our facilities are rated. And just numerous things that we look at in regards to this goal. So goal 2, and goal 2 is our basically our social emotional well-being. Again, this goal comes with many metrics, and it hits 5 state priorities. So you'll see some of the state priorities repeated. So just because we saw perhaps priority 5 in this goal, that's not to say we might not see that in another goal as well. So that's fine to hit it in several different areas. And here again, we have our plant analogy. So as you can see, it's a nice visual to kind of see that most of our actions are falling within the partially implemented or fully implemented sections. A couple of them fell under the not implemented, just like for 2.4. We have tried in the past to hire a social worker, a family liaison, but to no success. We didn't have any applicants. So the fact that it fell in that bucket wasn't for the lack of trying. It's just we were not able to hire that position. And again, then, following the same pattern, we have our budgeted amount and what we have spent. And again, good news, we've not overspent yet. And I shouldn't even say yet, because chances are we will not. And then here are our metrics from the California dashboard. And another metric that we use here is our STAR reading. So these are the ELA metrics. This one's kind of lengthy, so it's on 2 slides. The next slide will be the math. But you can see that we are looking at our data, and it's very predictable and aligned with some of the other data that we've looked at, specifically the state testing data. So again, here is the rest of Goal 2. This would be our math metrics. And again, we use the reporting on the California dashboard and then our STAR math spring scores. Goal 3 is our parent and community engagement. This is such a fun goal. And again, here we have hit 5 state priorities, and we have multiple metrics for this one as well. So, great news with this one. You can see that we don't have any little seedlings. Nothing has fallen under that far left metric. So everything for this goal is either fully implemented, and we have one that is partially implemented. Now that's not, I just want to preface by saying that doesn't mean we've been totally successful with our goals. It means that we've implemented everything we said we were going to do, but part of the end process is evaluating, okay, we did everything we said we were going to do. Did it get the results, though, that we're looking for? And the state mandates that if you have actions that were not successful, then you definitely need to rewrite those and plan differently for the next year. So we could possibly have very similar or same goals. Student achievement, that's always going to be a goal, right? No matter how high achieving you are. But we may need to take a look at some of those action items to see where we could do better if they didn't get the results that we're looking for. So obviously tonight we saw there's some metrics in Goal 1 that were really successful that we need to leverage. I meant to mention on that one, and I think it might be coming up on another slide. I've been keeping track of the amount of our staff that have gone to the PLC Institute, and I think we're at like 25 to 30% of our staff. So that's really awesome. And so here's the budgeted and the actuals again for Goal 3 and some of the data that we're using to look at those metrics. So with this one, it's suspension rate. And we have zero suspensions in our elementaries, and that's very, very typical across the nation, really, where you'll see more of the suspensions falling in within middle school and high school, because they're testing the waters at that age, so very typical. Okay, Goal 4, student engagement and attendance. The engagement piece, very fun. The attendance piece, a lot of work, and as we found out, we have some room for improvement. I presented that data to you, oh goodness, it seems like eons ago, but within the last couple months. So some of the metrics are our chronic absenteeism rate, the attendance rate. We even were looking at staff absences, but we found that was really hard to track. And so I think we sunset that particular metric because it just was so labor intense, and then I didn't even really feel like it was it was a reliable piece of data. Our California Healthy Kids, or our CHIC survey, and that's such a lengthy survey. There's so many questions, but what we've done is pull out like 3 major questions, and then we just compare those from year to year to see if we're getting any movement on those. And with Goal 4, as you can see, We only have one item under the not implemented, and it's simply because it's the one I just spoke of. We sunset it just because it wasn't a good metric for this. So most of our actions under here have been carried out. We have one that's partially implemented, and that's only because there's future things to come yet. We still have 5 months of school. And then here again is our table with our budgeted and our actuals. Again, great news. We are well under what we have budgeted for. And then our metrics. So the things that we're pulling out from the California Healthy Kids are considering a child's academic growth. So they ask parents, do you feel like your child's making academic growth? And 80% are not concerned, meaning that they are pleased with the academic growth of their students. The next statement, I feel a sense of belonging with my child's school community. And we have 85% say strongly agree or agree. So that's awesome. And then I know how to communicate with my child's school. And again, 89% strongly agree. So phenomenal results there. And then our last goal is our English language acquisition. And again, we have several metrics that we look at. And then our state priorities, there's 4. And so I made sure I looked. We did hit every single state priority, so we're good there. And with this particular goal, almost everything has been implemented. We have one thing that is under the not implemented, but really it's just because we sunset it. We didn't continue our work. We contracted with EL Rise, I think, for about 1.5 years. And then we felt that the work had gone as far as it could go. And so we just didn't contract with them for future services. So it's not that we didn't do it. It's just we completed it to the best of our ability. But it just felt right to put it under the not implemented. When you look at our data under almost every category, you know, it's all, and again, very typical across the United States. When you take our scores and you break them down into student groups, it's almost always our students with disabilities and our EL students who are the lower performing groups. And so even though our data does show that, you know, here we have this goal that says we've completed all these actions. But I think, like I said before, there's room for improvement. So when we're looking to craft this goal, I think we need to be really mindful about how we do that. Because yes, we did complete most everything here, but did we have the success that we really wanted? And that's what we're really looking at when we're using this to inform us for the writing of our 24-25 LCAP. So that is, wait, one more. Yep, sorry about that. So here's our budgeted, and again, we are only at 50% of what we budgeted, so that's great news. And here are a few of our metrics. So 54% of our EL students are making progress towards English language proficiency. And I have some stats from 22-23. We look at our students who are at risk. In other words, they have been in the EL program 4 to 5 years. And that is 8.3%. And then our LTELs are our long-term, and those are at 5.4. So again, we did put some things into place a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, to address that, but we may need to look at that again. One thing I do want to point out is that, yes, our percentages have dropped a little bit when you do a yearly comparison. But if you remember last year, we struggled so with hiring EL tutors, and we were very much lacking in our personnel there. This year, we are fully staffed, and not only fully staffed, but great staff. So I'm hoping you'll see a change in those numbers for next year. So overall, many of our goals are still a work in progress, and we'll work to try to complete those to the best of our ability by the end of the school year. We'll use this information to write our to design our new 24-25 LCAP. I mean, it's a 3-year, but it starts in 24-25. And we just want to sincerely acknowledge and thank the hard work of our dedicated staff, our teachers, our paras, everybody, all the way up to our district level staff. It is a team effort, and I appreciate everybody's hard work to continue to reach for excellence. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Terry. That was, I'm just going to bring questions from our trustees. Any questions for Terry on her report? Trustee Musa.
Anyway, thanks for the presentation. It's good to get an update what's going on with the LCAP and budget-wise. But you mentioned in the beginning that the template, it didn't matter how it went, right? And so for me, when I was looking at the presentation, and when you talked about the budget area where it's budgeted and actuals, so for me, looking at it like visually, I would love to see it moving forward, like for the goals, action items, each category you have like 9 or 8. I would love to see where the funding is coming from, which ones. We got restricted, unrestricted, we got EL, we got special ed and all this stuff. I'd like to see where the funding's coming from, and I'd like to see positions that in that category. That would be great because it gives me a clear picture when we talk about staffing, when we talk about budget as a board. When you put it in a sheet, like goal 1 on a sheet with line items, and it just clears it and tells me exactly where it's coming from. So for me, it's just kind of, I don't have to ask you questions, it just gives me the information right away. Just a thought for you next year.
Okay, Trustee Barbaro. Trustee Chin.
No, I just want to thank you for putting together that presentation. It was really clear to me, you know, when you lay out the goals, and I liked your little plant analogy. I think that was a good way of sort of demonstrating kind of where we are with a lot of it. You know, and I'm glad that you sort of mentioned the comment of, even though we've implemented some of these things, when we think about the metrics that we're using to measure the success of them, I think when we think about writing the LCAP for the future, it's good to sort of tie not just the activity, but the actual metric to the result, right? So you had already mentioned that in your comment, and I'm glad to see that you did that. So, you know, if we hire EL tutors, that's great. We can pat ourselves on the back and say, good job. But it really is how effective are our EL implemented programs that are making an impact on student achievements, right? So those are the things that I would just say are comments for when we think about our future LCAP and how we write it, just the metrics that we use. And I appreciate that you brought that up. Thank you.
I agree. This was so clear. And the seedling and the flowers really painted a picture for me. And to know that this is just, you know, we're going to look at this when writing the new LCAP, and this is a lot of good information. And I agree with Trustee Chin in that, you know, we have achieved certain areas, but then did we get the bang for our buck? You know, that type of thing. And that's something that we'll look at, and you alluded to that, Terry, which is great. Also, I reviewed the SARC reports and just seeing the number of, say, I looked at the EL students, learners at certain schools versus other schools. It's completely off balance. And so I would hope that, you know, that would be something we would look at as well in putting, I know we have 1.6 EL coordinators and then 3.0 EL tutors, but then to see if they're put in the right places. So that's something, you know, we would look at in the future. So thank you very much. That was a great report. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do I have
Can I just make one comment about the consent?
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to note that on the field trips, we did find that one field trip for this week was not on there, so we have amended it and added Spring Valley First Grade, who's going to Palo Alto Children's Theater, so I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, great. Thank you. So do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to district business. Approval of the 2023-2024 certificated seniority report. This is an action item. And did anybody, we're going to have HR Claudia speak to that.
Thank you, President Ferrario. This is an annual item that we bring to you every year for both certificated and classified staff. The first that we're presenting tonight is our certificated staff. All members have an opportunity to review the list from every site and also at the district office. And then any changes are made if necessary. So this is a recommended action for approval.
Wonderful. So would you like to
Can I
make a
make my
motion?
motion now?
You sure can.
I make a motion to approve the report.
Before we get a second, I just want to say, Claudia, just looking at that, I remember the person that was at the top, that is at the top of the certificated list was a brand new teacher not that many years ago, and she is still here. Yay. So anyway, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, number 2, classified seniority report. Claudia?
Thank you. Once again, this is the similar item that we bring every year just for our classified staff, and they also have the opportunity to review the report at their site or the district office.
Great. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve that one too.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number 3, approval for the installation of baseball scoreboard at Green Hills and Taylor Middle School, our wonderful Millbury Lions Club.
Thank you, President Ferrario. This is a topic of discussion. It's been around a long time, and so we're excited to bring this forth. As far as the plan for the scoreboard, we have Steve Henderson and Kevin O'Neill. I don't know if Kevin's going to get up and present, but he's here present, giving Steve some support from the audience. So Steve is going to give the details and the possible timing and everything that's gone on and the hard work that we got to this point. So again, we're really excited that we're at this point, and I will turn it over to Steve.
Thanks, Ralph, and thanks everybody for having me. President Ferrario, trustees, great to see you, and Superintendent Hickey, thank you for having us here. So, I'm here to talk about Millbury Lions baseball a little bit and about our scoreboard plan. The baseball program, many of you who have kids who have played in the program, my children have, and so it's a nonprofit project of the Millbury Lions. We have about 400 kids that play every year, spring, summer, and fall. And so we've been serving the community since 1958, believe it or not. And so many years ago, Kevin and I got involved and we started seeking, some capital improvements. And then in 2021, Realtor Dees and Kai donated a scoreboard that was to be put up at Lower Green Hills Field. And we have had a lot of support at the time from the developer Republic Urban that was going to put the scoreboard in, but then COVID hit and all kinds of other delays have taken place. And so we've been through kind of an arduous journey. We worked with the city, Tom Williams and the city planning department, and more recently with Ralph, and thanks to Lisa as well, to finally get to the point where we get to dig the foundation and put the scoreboard in the left field area outside the fence at Green Hills. So we're really, really excited about that because all the players that are involved to get this kind of thing actually done. The other thing that we have is we have a plan to install a 26-foot scoreboard at Taylor Field in the right field side, kind of all the way up against the apartment building, just beyond the walking track. So that's going to be donated by IBEW. They do a lot of that scoreboard donation. Kevin and I have worked with them. So the plan going forward is to have the scoreboard installed at Green Hills in the coming weeks, and then to have the foundation laid for the scoreboard at Taylor. There's no place to put a 26-foot scoreboard, so we've had the other one in storage for quite some time, and we're ready to get it installed. But this one that we're going to order needs to be put up when it arrives. So the plan is, and what we're here to talk about is to seek approval to get this work done, you know, so the kids can benefit from having this in the community. Questions about the process that I can help answer?
Hey, trustees, Trustee Musa.
Just quickly, it's about time because I feel like we've been talking about this forever. And so then I think that the pandemic kind of put things on hold.
It really did, and
then
it just killed the momentum, and then the developer had some challenges with all kinds of things at their project, and the next thing you know, years have passed. So we struggled with it, and then fortunately we were able to pick up the ball when Lisa came on board, and then Ralph has been really helpful, and the next thing you know, and Tom, I mean, everyone that cares about kids in our community, which is just about everyone, you know, has really rallied for this, and so we're excited about it to have it finally happen.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm happy to see it happening, so great.
Thank you.
Trustee Chin.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for actually putting together this amazing scoreboard and truly for running this baseball program. I mean, my kids have participated in it, and you've been their coach many times, so it's been a ton of fun to see how much joy that baseball provides for our community. And, you know, these fields are important not just for baseball, but for softball and for so many other things. And I think having these scoreboards will be just an incredible upgrade to everything. And we have one of the more premier baseball programs in our area. So I think this will be fantastic. I'd love to be able to figure out how to get this up before the season starts.
That's the plan, is to get the one at Green Hills before the season starts. That should be coming weeks, you know, pending your approval and everything. We're pressing with the developer. And then the other piece, to get the foundation in it, it takes a few months for them to manufacture a scoreboard this big, but it looks like things are heading our way. So we're pretty excited about the momentum we have. Thank you so much.
Trustee Barbaro.
Couple of years. Took a couple of years.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about it, but you made it happen. You know, and I just want to give you a shout out because people don't really know what you've done in Millbrae with the Millbrae Lions baseball. You've turned it completely around and brought it to the 21st century. You really have. And so I know you're turning it over to other people now, and you know you're turning it over to good people who will continue to do what you've done. So kudos to you, and wow, it's happening. I can't wait. So
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Superintendent Hickey.
I just want to clarify, so what we're asking the board to do tonight is to approve the approval for installation, and the actual installation and inspections will be handled by the city, and you'll see that there is a agreement with the city in the packet.
That was my question that I wanted to go out to our folks so that they know how this is going to happen, that the Lions Club is doing all of this work, and no one has had to pay for anything. This is all donations.
All donations. So the Republic Urban is donating all the building materials and getting the labor in place. So they're pressing for the project because they have all these resources in town since they've been doing all this building. And then the city has been working closely with, so that's Tom Williams, the city manager, and then the building department has worked very closely with them. They have a real tight relationship. And so they've worked together, and we just worked in concert with them. And we went through the lengthy plan approval process with the city. And then when we told, Ralph about that, and superintendent, they're like, oh, okay, we can see how this is aligned. We've been through the DSA process as well. So everything is greased and ready to go. We're just really, really excited about it because it's finally coming to fruition. So it's no money from the district, no money from the Lions. It's Republic Urban, who, has added a lot of living space over at Mowbray Station, who has decided to really help with this project, and we're just thrilled that they are coming through for us.
And I'll have to say that the city also gets some credit for committing to maintain and repair the scoreboard as needed moving forward in the future. So they've committed to making sure the scoreboard stays running for the community.
Fantastic.
And one more question. What's the turnaround time with ordering the big Taylor scoreboard?
Kevin, I think 4 to 6 weeks from the time you get the green light. So we wanted to get the footing in and get everything ready, because there's, like, again, you got to hang that thing, and so you got to bring a crane in and hang it when it's done.
The delicate dance.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can't see me because I'm behind the podium, but I'm dancing.
Sorry, where exactly is it going to go at Taylor?
So if you're, so imagine you're standing at Taylor Field number 3 behind the backstop there.
Okay.
Just kind of behind you there. So on that so you're on the walking track, you're walking towards Richmond from Taylor Field number 3. About 10 steps on your right, there is a giant tree that's there that we're going to cut back, and the apartment building is behind it, and there's actually like a junction box. Several years ago, John Giannoli ran a conduit anyway, all the way to a box out there because he wanted to put a scoreboard there many, many years ago, but they ran out of money. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the scoreboard where it was supposed to go in the first place. So the footing is going to go there on the other side of the walking track, up against the fence, and all the foundation work is going to happen there.
So is it suspended in the
It's
air?
going to be on 2 I-beams that are going to be, so it's going to be a big cement footing about from the stairs to that chair, and in almost to that big footing that takes up most of the space on the other side of the walking track, so that it's anchored and held up. So it'll be up on, kind of like the ones you see at football fields, but when Kevin and I asked them what they wanted to do, and they said, get the biggest possible one you can. We said, oh, we'll take one. We were trying to be nice about it. And the guy says, if I took you to dinner and I said the filet mignon was really good here, I would want you to order that. He goes, so if we're going to pay for this, we don't want you ordering chicken. We want you to get the biggest doggone thing you can because we're paying for it. And we said, oh, okay. So they twisted my arm, and the next thing you know, we had the biggest thing we can get.
I think that's great. I think the only concern I would have from a school district perspective is just if there are those huge footings, that if kids are doing PE or whatever, that they're padded or whatever, that nobody sort of runs into them during PE or any other activity, soccer.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, and remember this one has not been ordered yet, and so we will work collaboratively with the city and Lions to make sure.
Padded for
Awesome.
sure.
Yeah, and it being on the opposite side of the track, it's not impeding on any of the field surface. So it's on between the track and the fence. So we don't see it as impeding anything.
Sure. Trustee Musa.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to bring out the fact that it's not electrical, it's solar. So can you talk about that a little bit?
So the scoreboard at Green Hills is solar, so there's no need to run power. So there's a solar panel that powers it, and it charges the battery, and so that's kind of neat. That's just literally plug and play. That's just going to go in, and you run it from a remote control from the snack shack. So that one is, we're excited about that. I was speaking to the manufacturer the other day, and they asked me how what's going on, and I told them that, we're about to install it. We'll keep them posted on how well it works. But we were really excited about that particular feature because there's no need to hook into anything. Yeah. At Taylor, we do have to run a conduit, from from where the from where the scoreboard will be, at least to the snack shack, that's the nearest spot. So they're gonna have to trench and then cover for that. But that's not a terrible process. I mean, again, John Giannoli already ran the conduit, so I think it's gonna be pretty straightforward.
Done.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, all this stuff will be in the agreement with the facilities, with the city, correct? That we're working on a facilities.
Since we don't have a finalized agreement yet, we have a separate agreement just for this project. So
got it.
we've entered into agreement with the city, and it's been signed off already for the installation. They'll oversee and make sure all regulations are being followed, and then, like I mentioned earlier, maintain and make sure it continues to run with their department.
Okay, this is an action item, and not you, Trustee Chin. Who would like to make a motion?
Oh, I'd like to make a motion
Okay,
to approve the project.
second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations, yay.
All right.
Okay, number 12, discussion item, 2024-2025 Board of Trustees regular meeting calendar. Would you, Superintendent Hickey, like to address that item?
This is a discussion item for you to look at, but we have proposed dates for the board meeting for the 24-25 school year. In general, when we drafted this, we followed pretty much the same calendar from this year with a couple of little changes. We're proposing not having a formal meeting in July. Most school districts have June meetings and then August meetings, so that's one proposal. And then moving the August meeting up to before school starts. It would be that Tuesday when we have staff back, but school would start on Thursday. And the reason for that is sometimes we have employment agreements or contract employments, and we want to make sure that we would get those approved before school starts. And so again, no action, discussion, and we will bring this back on the 20th for final approval.
Okay, any comments on this item? Trustee Musa?
Yeah, the July, it's probably a good idea not to have a meeting because a lot of us miss it because we are on vacation or something happens. But I'd love to do a study session for us to do, like, maybe planning for the following year or just something for us to kind of get together. And I'm pretty sure, like, there's some gaps, like, there's some months we have one meeting, but I'm sure if something comes up, we can always schedule a special board meeting, so just in case.
Yes, correct. And I think July is a good time to maybe have a board retreat or a study session, but we probably don't need a public meeting in July. And yes, you're correct that, some of the months that we only have one meeting, it's typically due to maybe a break that we have. For example, April, we have spring break, but we can always call a special meeting if needed.
Okay, anything else for discussion? All right, so we're going to revisit this on the 20th. Okay, so our next item is the Budget Advisory Parcel Tax Oversight Committee. Is that you?
Yes, yes, that is me, President Ferrario, thank you. So this is information, it's a discussion item, no action at this point as well, but just to inform the board of the applications we have received for the Budget Advisory Parcel Tax Oversight Committee. As you can see on the paperwork, we have two parents that have submitted applications. We have a principal who has submitted an application, who is sitting in the room currently. And since the printing of this, we received another application from a community member. Catherine Quigg is the other application that we received. And then one other addition would be Angela Smith. My assistant would operate and represent the confidential unit member on the confidential staff, and also serve as the secretary for the meetings. So the direction is, really, would you like to continue and see this as an action item for the 20th and approve this committee, or would you like to continue to open up the application process and expand the committee, or is this a committee that you feel is sufficient for board approval for next board meeting?
Any comments? Trustee Chen.
How many are sort of required? How many have we had in the past? You know, so is this enough? Do you feel like we need more for cushion? What's your thought?
This is the number of people listed here. If you also include myself and Sue Jung Kim, who is the Director of Student of Business Services, this is a committee that's larger than what was in place when I first came aboard for the previous parcel tax. The requirement is to have 5 members, so this does give at least 5 members. It gives representation from parents, from administrative standpoint, and from community and some classified confidential staff. So I feel this is a good representation, being that we didn't have a lot of applications. I feel this is probably going to work for us moving forward. So I think this would be fine.
Trustee Barbara.
Yeah, you know, I know some of the panel applicants, and I could tell you, you know, that one of them has a great finance background and a great Millbrae background. So I'm comfortable with it.
Trustee Chen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh no, that's okay. I know that last time we had probably, I don't know, 7, 8 parents that were on the budget and parcel tax oversight, but I know that many of them didn't show. Some of them had graduated off, or their kids, they left the district, moved away, and I'm not even sure what the final list ended up being toward the end, because obviously that committee was set up over 5 years ago. But it started out with a lot of names. And so that would be my only concern as to what happens if people graduate out, if people aren't able to make it. You know, ultimately, we always had a few members, but there were a few that never were able to sort of make it consistently.
That's a very valid point. This is a 9-year parcel tax. So having someone commit for 9 years, we know is a tough ask, right? And they may not have kids in the district anymore. They may not have the time in 5, 6 years from now. So we're hoping that members would serve a 2-year term, and then we would open it back up and see if there were new members to come in after a 2-year period, or we could revisit as needed to make sure we have proper representation.
I'm wondering if we should also look at the format of the meeting, because of course, we'd like to have them in person, but if we kind of give an option for them to join by Zoom, it might increase the attendance, especially from our parents and community members.
Great idea.
Yeah, a hybrid might be worthwhile to look into. I know that there are a few other parents who have thought about it, so I'm not sure where they're at. But anyway, there are a few other parents that are potentially interested.
Trustee Musa.
Yeah, thank you. Because I don't want to delay the meeting, I want to get it started, so we can go ahead and move with the team that we have, and, continue recruiting more parents that are younger parents that might be here, longer, to, serve longer for the thing. But I don't want to delay the meetings waiting for more people, but it's a good idea. Anyway, that's my.
I just noticing that it says representatives of the business community and/or other community members within the boundaries of the Millbrae School District. So I get that. Have we reached out to any businesses in our community?
This was circulated through Rotary as well. So I know the PTAs had seen it through our advertising, and so we were circulated through Rotary.
Mm-hmm. And as much as I would love to have this as being an ongoing, join when you can, I think we need to have a group there from the onset, because it's too hard to catch people up after, you've already started. So if we're going to go with it, we're going to go with it. And if we're going to wait, my question is, could we wait until the 20th to see if these folks that you might mention might be interested? The next board meeting. Would we want to do that?
This is a discussion item, and so that discussion is seeking input from the board. And so that would be input we're seeking from the board as to whether you want this as an action item on the 20th, or you want to open it up again.
Okay.
So the ones that are on the list, they're committed for 2 years, correct?
Yeah, as far as I understand, yes.
Okay. Our next board meeting, when is our next board
So
meeting?
Ralph, how many people do we have total?
7.
7.
Well, to me, that's a victory in itself.
Well, and then 7 plus board member, right? You still don't have a board representation listed here, but you do have board members that would be part of this committee as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, if we're not approving it until the 20th, my personal preference would be to open it up until we actually do approve it. I think it's also worthwhile to advertise this on the public information office within the city, because there are lots of business folks that are not Rotary members. There are a lot of other community members that are not Rotary members that are also not parents that may or may not want to participate. And I think this is a initiative that we asked our entire community to vote on. And I want to make sure that they all had an opportunity to know that they could serve. And if there's no interest from those members, then there's no interest. But at least we've touched upon making sure that we've gotten out through the entire channel of community members and not just Rotary or school district.
I think maybe we should reach out to the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Okay.
It's a big group.
I can put it on the EVAC as well, and the Chamber of Commerce, but I think EVAC may, well.
Maybe talk to Tom Williams. Maybe he can put it at the city. Yeah, sorry. Tom Williams might be able to put it citywide. They do, they have a public information office. They do Facebook stuff, and maybe we can add it there just to get, it's good to have parents from the community. It's good to have Kathy Quake, she's on the planning commission. But if we could get someone outside of the school district to come join, that would be great. Just an
has a
input from the
business in
others.
Millbrae.
Yeah.
Would be nice, right?
Yeah. But anyway, you have 2 weeks, but if mornings we get by next meeting, that's great. And if not, I don't think we should delay it any longer than,
Pause,
Yeah, like,
a little pause and pick it back up in a couple of weeks.
yeah, this is not, we're not voting, this is discussion, so.
Yes, discussion for now. So what we'll do is we'll repost and we'll send out to the recommended agencies and city and we'll see what response we get in the next week. And then we'll bring it back on the 20th, either for a final approval or for continued discussion.
Okay. The, what was the other thing I was thinking of? Should a prospective board member that was interested, would they approach you, Ralph, or Superintendent Hickey if they were interested in being on this committee?
so, to clarify.
Yeah, I think this is a decision that
Just
the
to
board
clarify.
can
We have to,
decide upon.
So,
it's not one of our adjunct.
so we have a budget committee, this is parcel tax. So the budget committee that we're on is separate from this, right? Because it says budget advisory parcel, so
Yeah,
I just
those
want to
are,
clarify, I don't want to make,
those are two separate, I meet separately with, just like facilities, right? The board budget committee is a separate little mini ad hoc committee of the board that meets with staff on budget, just like facilities meets with staff on facilities issues. So that's a separate committee.
So Superintendent Hickey, you have the committee assignments, so you can look to see who's on that budget committee. And if someone from the budget committee also wanted to be on this committee, they would contact you. Does that sound okay? Okay. I don't think we have to elect someone, right? I mean, we're going to be voting on the whole slate, right?
Correct. You don't have
Approving the whole
to, you don't have to
slate.
elect somebody within this group. You can just let us know and then it could be decided upon when the entire slate is approved.
Right, okay. Any other comments? Okay, great. All right, so possible future agenda items.
I
think we have some held over. Superintendent Hickey?
We do have a list,
Yeah.
and we are working through our presentations. I believe
Okay.
the February 20th, we'll probably have a special education presentation and one more, but we have taken note of the past meetings, of what you have listed as future agenda items, and we're working through to calendar them.
Okay, so on the 20th,
We have special education,
SPED and,
and the second one isn't finalized yet, but we will have
Oh,
one more
okay.
presentation.
great.
Okay?
Super. Any other items for future agenda items other than presentations?
I think they have a long list. They're good for a while.
Okay. All right. So can I ask for a motion to adjourn? Thanks. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.